At first glance, it was just another interview set, modest, unpretentious, almost plain. A quiet afternoon, with golden light pouring in through the studio windows, casting soft shadows on the floor. 2 cups of warm tea sat on a low table. A couple of microphones, a casual script, and 2 familiar figures seated beside each other, comfortably but not too close, like people who've shared a long journey and no longer need to fill the silence. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. 2 names that once dominated the screens across Asia. 2 actors who had set hearts ablaze with their roles in the Untamed, a drama that not only captivated viewers but created an entire cultural wave. Since then, both had taken their separate paths, different roles, different headlines, different controversies. And yet, the memory of their on-screen chemistry and their off-screen closeness never truly faded. And so, when word spread that they would appear together again for a special reunion interview, fans across the globe waited with bated breath. Not because they expected anything dramatic, just the hope of seeing them in the same frame once more was enough. But what they got was far beyond expectations. The interview began lightly, as most do. The host smiled brightly, asking about memories from the set, how the 2 had changed since filming, what they missed the most. Yibo, true to his nature, answered in curt, charming phrases, his gaze flitting occasionally toward Xiao Zhan. Zhan, more expressive, filled in the gaps, his laughter echoing softly through the studio. They were different, and always had been. But that difference was precisely what made them magnetic together. Then came the question that sparked it all. What's the most embarrassing moment you 2 shared during filming? A beat of silence. Yibo raised an eyebrow. Then for a moment, just a flicker, he smiled. A real smile. The kind that starts from the corner of the lips and travels to the eyes. He looked down at his hands, as if trying to decide whether to share a secret. I once fell off a horse, he said, his voice low but amused, right in front of Xiao Zhan. And then, he laughed. Not the short, practiced laugh of a media-trained celebrity, but an unfiltered, knee-jerk burst of laughter that lasted far too long. He leaned forward, one hand clutching his stomach, eyes crinkling into crescent moons. 3 minutes. 3 full minutes of uncontainable joy. Across from him, Xiao Zhan froze, and then burst out laughing as well. He covered his face with both hands, shaking his head in disbelief. Yibo, not that, he exclaimed, his voice high with amusement. I'm not being mean, but, your face when you fell. It was unforgettable. I know, Yibo gasped between laughs. That's what makes it worse. The 2 of them dissolved into laughter again, and for a while, the studio became a bubble of joy, like watching 2 old friends stumble upon a private memory, one too ridiculous to forget. But then, something changed. The laughter faded, and the host gently steered the conversation in a new direction. What have you learned from each other since working together? It was an innocent enough question, but it hung in the air like a thread waiting to be pulled. Yibo didn't answer immediately. He looked at Xiao Zhan. Not glanced, looked. Deep, still, deliberate. As if measuring the weight of everything they'd been through, together and apart. His voice, when it came, was quieter than before. I learned, he said slowly, that someone can be strong and gentle at the same time. Xiao Zhan taught me what warmth really means, even when the world gets cold. The air shifted. Zhan blinked. The smile that had lingered on his lips faded, not from discomfort, but from being caught off guard. His posture straightened, like he wasn't sure how to react. I didn't think you'd say something like that, he murmured. Usually, your answers are just, yes, no, or, we'll see. Yibo chuckled softly, scratching his neck. Guess I'm in an honest mood today. Zhan looked down, his lashes fluttering. When he looked up again, there was something new in his expression, something tender and unspoken. And just like that, a switch had flipped. What started as a simple interview had become something raw, real, resonant. Fans who were watching live started posting clips. Twitter, Weibo, and Instagram flooded with reactions. Edits were made within minutes. Slow motion close-ups of Yibo's gaze. Subtitles added to highlight every word he said. Memes of Zhan covering his face, of the moment his laughter turned into a stunned silence. "What was that look?" asked one user. "Why does it feel like they forgot there were cameras?" Posted another. Speculations reignited. Old theories resurfaced. About how their bond had never really ended, just gone underground. About all the subtle, blink and you'll miss it moments over the years. A hand brushing too long. A birthday message posted at midnight. A shared smile on a red carpet when no one was looking. Was this just friendship? Was it respect? Or was it something else? Something more elusive and fragile, carefully protected from the prying eyes of the public. In a world where so many celebrity moments are calculated and polished, this one stood out precisely because it felt so unrehearsed. Yibo, known for being private and aloof, had laid down his armor for a moment. And Zhan, usually the one with the easy charm, was left visibly moved. It didn't need to be romantic to be powerful. It just needed to be real. The fandom, of course, had their own interpretations. BoZhan is real, one comment said confidently. They're soulmates in a way that doesn't need to be labeled, another wrote. Some fans posted old behind-the-scenes footage, now infused with new meaning. The way Zhan once instinctively reached to fix Yibo's mic. The way Yibo once quietly stood between Zhan and a swarm of fans. The unspoken language they seemed to speak fluently, one glance, and they understood. And maybe, in that studio, under soft lighting and surrounded by cameras, that language resurfaced. In laughter, in stillness, in honesty. Because sometimes, the most telling thing isn't the grand declaration. It's the quiet look that lingers too long. The trembling laugh that turns into a memory. The words that catch you off guard, because you didn't think someone noticed. When the show ended, fans didn't just save clips, they saved feelings. Screenshots were turned into wallpapers. Edits flooded TikTok and YouTube. Hashtags like #BoZhan reunion, #Yibo soft side, and #Zhan laugh forever trended in multiple countries. And perhaps the most striking thing was not the content of what they said, but the truth that radiated between them. A bond that fame couldn't dim. A memory that time couldn't erase. And a kind of affection that didn't need to be named to be understood. So now we ask you, was it just a funny moment between old friends? Or was there something more beneath the surface? Tell us what you think in the comments below. If you felt something during that moment, if your heart skipped, your eyes welled, or your smile lingered longer than usual, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes, the most beautiful connections don't need explanation. They just need to be seen. And we'll be right here, watching, waiting, and cherishing every second of it. Let me know if you'd like this adapted into a YouTube voiceover script with scene directions or background music suggestions.